Hi everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards and welcome back to my channel. This is a long video and I'm not even going to apologize because this is an awesome card and it's for an even more awesome person and I'm going to tell you all about it. You know how sometimes when you're making a card, it's like simple and fast and quick and simple and fast and quick are the same thing. Anyway, you know how sometimes when you're making a card, you're like done after, just a little bit and um, you don't add extras. You know how that is? This isn't that card. You see, this card I made for somebody very, very special. In the crafting community, I have met some of the most amazing people, women, men, just some of the most amazing people. And I have really gotten close to several of them. One very, very much in particular has become, I hate to use the words, but has become my best friend. Like just for real, for real. I talk to her every single day, like every day, at least once a day, and it can be about anything. She has become my best friend. And everybody's nodding right now because they have that one person, right, that they can talk to, that they talk to every day, that they met online, and they have like that relationship. This one's a little bit different, and I will explain to you why. But first, I am using a honeybee background builder die set, and I think they've actually changed the way this cloud die is, or the cloud stencil. These are not dies. Cloud stencil is. I think I seen somebody promoting it the other day, and it's got like rounded corners now instead of those weird triangles, but whatever. This is the one I have. I'm not buying a new one. And I'm just making a background here. I have broken china. I have, Savage Patina. That's what that one is. I have speckled egg. And then I have hickory smoke. I wanted this very cool, smoky, blue, gray, hazy background. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I had also die cut a piece of that green pattern paper up in the corner with a like grass die and then a picket fence from a picket fence die. Those are from the same die set. I believe they're Avriel. They're very old and kind of some go-tos that I have. Anyway, as I'm blending this, I will tell you why that friendship that I have is so very different than most. You see, last year in the great 2020, we were supposed to go on a girls' trip. We were supposed to go to New York. That meant me flying from Wisconsin and her flying from not Wisconsin to go to New York. And we were so looking forward to this. Oh, after I did the background, I also inked up the edges of this piece of grass that I cut out of this cool pattern paper. So when that was canceled or postponed or whatever, I was devastated. Honestly, I had something that I was looking forward to, and I was devastated. I know it just sounds stupid, right? But with everything going on in the world and just getting to know several of these women very, very well, it was like my heart's desire to go to New York to do this thing. And it got canceled, 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 but postponed, but combine those. Oh, here I'm stamping this giant gnome image from, what is the name of this company? Woodware? It is, I'd never seen these before, but I am stoked. They are super cute. And they have more. I seen those also in another video recently that there's more of these, and I might have to own them all. Anyway, back to my friend. So when this thing in New York was canceled, postponed, I was so sad. And I know I wasn't the only one that was sad, but I was really, really sad. And I sometimes struggle with a lot of things, and having something ripped out from under me was terrible. I definitely felt that hardest out of everything else that could have possibly happened in 2020. And I know that sounds really petty, but just being honest, it was like a big deal that I couldn't go, that I couldn't meet these people, that I couldn't do this, that I no longer had this thing to look forward to, and it was a big deal. This friend of mine, she knew that I was having a hard time. She knew that I was struggling, but she also knew like how not to get up in my face and kind of tell me what I should or shouldn't be doing, because honestly, I feel like she also was feeling it pretty hard. Maybe not the same, but feeling it pretty hard. Oh, what I'm doing here is just stamping this image a bajillion times, I'm telling you, onto different pattern papers. If you know me even a little bit, you know that I love to Copic color, but I also love to paper piece and I love to put them together. And well, we're going to do one of those kind of things today. So everybody's devastated, heartbroken, whatever. I pretty much took like a break from all things, everything. I wasn't making cards. I wasn't making videos. I wasn't really talking to anybody. I was off social media. I really took a break, and I needed it. And you know what? If you need a break too, take it. It's good. It's good. Take a break. But we had all this like credit basically with the airlines, and my birthday was coming up, and I told my friend, hey, my family and I are going to go out of town. And she was like, cool, that's awesome. After we got back from our vacation in mid-late March, she said, I was going to come surprise you for your birthday. And I said, you could still come surprise me. I'm not going to stop you. That's cool. Well, this is when you know you have an amazing friend. Her and her husband hopped on a plane and came to visit us, and me and my husband and our kids, for 10 days. 10 days. Somebody that we had not met in person, just online, pretty much almost 2 years of online, definitely 1 full year of very, very close relationship. And it's a friendship that I will never give up. I'm sorry, girl. You're my girl forever. Anyway, she and her husband flew to my house, so halfway across the country, to come and visit us. They stayed for 10 days. We took hardly any pictures. I think there's like 1 photo of all of us together. We were just very much enjoying our time together. It was one of those experiences where you know how you're probably, when you meet somebody for the first time, you're like super nervous because you don't know them. When we met them in person, it was like we had known them forever. We knew so much about each other. Oh, Woodware is the company. Woodware Craft Collection. Totally soak up their stamps if you have a chance, because they are awesome. I pulled out a different stamp set here for this. I wanted some clouds. Anyway, they flew across country. They stayed for 10 days. We went and did the touristy thing in the Wisconsin Dells with them because she had been here when she was much younger. I don't think he had ever been here. We visited some Amish places. We ate some really good food. We just enjoyed each other's company. They were here to help celebrate Adelaide's 2nd birthday with us, which was so much fun. Getting to share that experience with her. Anyway, if you have not clued in on who I'm talking about, I am talking about Amanda from Rise and Procrastinate. If you don't know her, I'm sorry, because she is one of the kindest, nicest people there is, and we have connected on this amazing level. I just can't even thank her enough for being my friend. And a funny side note, do you know how we're friends? We were in this group called the Collective Creators together. And there was this hop that went on for like new YouTubers, new content creators, whatever. And I decided I was going to participate. And a man to send me a message inside the Collective Creators that said, hey, your sound is, and I'm going to paraphrase, your sound is crap. And if my sound was crap, I would want somebody to tell me. And you know what? I was super offended. I was giving that message a side eye. And then I thought about it and I thought, if my sound is crap, I probably should fix that. So I did. And then I sent her a message and I said, you know what? Let's be friends. We should be friends. Because I seen the kind of comments she was leaving on people's things, and they were very kind and supportive. And she has become, like I said, my best friend. And I can't even thank her enough for telling me that my sound was crap because, well, it was perfect timing. I needed her in my life as much as probably she needed me. So this is paper piecing, and if you don't know how to paper piece, these images work really, really well for it. You see, I've stamped the image on different pattern papers, different colors, and I'm choosing which pieces I want from each pattern paper. I did an orange and a purple, and like the stems are out of this one with the polka dots. If you squint your eyes at a piece of pattern paper and it kind of looks solid, it will read as a solid, just like in a quilt. So here I'm just laying out what I have, trying to see if I've dispersed my colors enough, trying to see, what else I want to add in. I do have those clouds there. You can see that I'm cutting basically on the line or inside the line for when I am paper piecing. The clouds I have fussy cut because they are not going to be paper pieced. So I did leave a border around those because I thought that would be kind of fun. So this yellow, I just picked that mushroom top from that little tiny one, and I put all my pieces aside after I had them cut out, and I decided after I had stamped this grass and cut it out that I was going to just Copic color it. I wanted to add some Copic fun into my little scene, so that's what I'm going to do here. Just some really simple Copic coloring. I think I used a 3-color blend. Actually, I think I found a dry marker while I was doing this. That whole span of time when I wasn't making cards, a lot of my markers dried out. I have a please refill us list and a stack of markers. I need to just go get some refills like, a good girl does, just takes care of her stuff. But in the meantime, I was just kind of getting through. Here I was desperately in need of some additional help in coloring this grass. So I just used the darker marker kind of in the little creases of this super cute, playful grass. This image and these images, like all of them in this collection, if you want to do paper piecing, these are really great for it. The pieces are like super chunky and big and easy to work with, but they're also really easy to Copic color. The spaces are nice and big. Nothing's really tiny, so that you could, definitely practice your Copic coloring skills, or, like me, where you haven't Copic colored in really a while. So, yeah, it was nice to get this out and color in some grass. At least I did do a little bit more Copic coloring, but not much. It's pretty much all paper pieced. I think this is where I realized that my marker was like super dry, because I do see it in my please refill us stack. Okay, so Amanda and her husband came to visit, and we did the touristy thing. I don't know if you've ever been to the Wisconsin Dells, but it's like known for water parks and all that stuff. But that's like not something that, that I'm into really, and they didn't seem too into that either. So we did the other stuff. Like we went on the ducks tour. If you've never been on one of those, you get on there. It's like it's got kind of a roof on it, but it's like open. It's like an open seated bus, and you drive on the road and then you go in the water, and it drives in the water just like a boat. They're very, very cool. So we did that. And then we also did the boat tour, where you got to go like on the other part of the river. And they tell you all sorts of really cool things about our area here. I mean, the rocks along the river are apparently special and are something you can't find all over the place. I don't know. I guess it's been a while since I've been on there, and I, as a kid, probably heard all that, but did not learn it. So yeah, I learned some things while they were here. Oh, so after I colored my grass, I used this black water-based marker to go around the edges of all of my pieces. And I left a little bit in here because you can see how it goes from white to black and it kind of disappears. It's going to help that little edge blend in with the actual black line of the stamp. So if my cut, when I cut it out, Fussy cut it out, if it's not perfect, which it's not, let's face it, we're human. If it's not perfect, it will hide it. And this marker is like concealer for, those blemishes you have. This is this marker. This marker will hide all the mistakes. It's like a filter on your photos. Yep, that's what it is. And I always go from the back because if I do slip, I draw on the back of the piece of paper instead of like on the front, which would screw everything up. So here I'm just going to piece together the layers within my layers. Like for the top of this mushroom, I decided to do the little stripes a different color, which this lends itself to very, very well because, like I said, the pieces are very big and easy to work with. So it made it super simple to go ahead and piece this on here. Now, when I paper piece, I do like to leave, like this whole orange piece and then piece on the red pieces. You could cut it all apart and piece it together like a puzzle, but that just seems like way too much work. So Amanda and I, we're like the same person when it comes to lots of things, but very different on other aspects of things. And I appreciate that so much with her as a friend that we can have differing opinions and still be very good friends. And there's no arguments or I don't need her to see my point of, my opinion doesn't necessarily need to be the final opinion. And the same goes for her. Those are the kind of friends you need. I'm telling you, a friend that packs a bag and flies halfway across the country to spend 10 days with somebody they don't physically know, that's the kind of friend that you need. You need that friend. You can't have mine, but you need one of those for yourself. Here, I decided to color in my little gnome's nose and his beard, and I believe the tassel on his hat because I didn't find a pattern paper that I wanted to use for those things. I did paper piece his clothes though because I thought that was super adorable. So after I paper pieced like these pieces together and like puzzle piece them together, now I'm going to go ahead and shade the images. I find it easiest to shade my images before I put them on my final background piece, my final image. I just think that not only does the paper piecing add so much, but shading them adds so much more depth and dimension to my image. It's so nice. And I believe that marker was dry too, because I also see one of those markers, the W markers, up in my please refill us stack. You can tell what I used too much of too often. No, what I like, what I gravitate toward, you can tell that from my stack of things that need to be refilled. So here I was just going around with some W markers and just shading the edges of the hat. And I do this for all of the pieces. And it's, the grays do dry back a little bit, but I can use the same gray tones to shade everything, which is really nice. You don't have to have all the colors to do this, just a couple of gray markers. You could have got away with two, just mid gray and then a really light gray to kind of blend it out to white. You could even do a dark gray and like blend it out with your colorless blender, but seeing as how this is pattern paper, it's best to not like do lots of coloring on it, because you just don't know how that ink is going to move inside that paper. So here I definitely shaded underneath, where that little top of the mushroom, like little bell flower thing is. And I'm not worrying about the polka dots on the mushroom yet because I will take care of that in a much different way. But just shading everything, I wanted to, make everything cute and perfect. And like I said, this was for somebody that is super special. So although I love making cards and I spend my time making them the best I can, when it is a card for somebody that means so much to you, maybe I am different here, but I spend more time on it. I just can't help but want to give them my very best effort ever. And this is no different. I made this card with every bit of my heart and soul. And I hope she loves it because I am sending this to her. She might or might not have it by the time this video goes live, but it will be at least on the way because it is going out in the morning from when I'm voicing this over. So I did my shading there, and I was like, well, let's piece it all together. So before I fussy cut this out of my piece of white paper, I am going to fussy cut. I'm going to piece this all the way together. So first is my mushroom, and you can literally, you can really watch the scene that is this little, toadstools and gnome. You can really watch it come together. Paper piecing is absolutely just as beautiful as coloring. And you can get some actual more depth. You can get more depth and dimension and interest sometimes using pattern paper. So, and the pattern papers were just random pattern papers. I have like 3 drawers of pattern paper in my new office. I have plenty, although my husband said the other day, and I'm going to forever quote him, for what you do, you can never have too much paper. And I thought, ooh, we need to write that down and like tattoo it or something, because that is the best thing he's ever said to me, I think. So here you can kind of see this starting to come together. I added the back mushroom top, and then I did the stem, and then I added the front mushroom top, and now I'm going to add the stem. When I fussy cut them out, I left that little piece underneath, and I'm just laying that stem over top. You really, in the end, can't tell that that is over top versus underneath. It is in there correctly. I did the same with all of them. Left the part, on the cap there where the top of the stem is going to be. And I did all of the stems exactly the same. Out of this, like, I don't know what color that is. Kind of a beige color with like maroon polka dots. I think that's kind of what it is. And I just thought that that would tie them all in together, even though like they're so different. And this is where I was like, oh, I should have colored his beard already. What am I thinking? So then I decided to color it. I'm just using those same warm grays. I want his beard to be kind of whitish, but kind of gray, shadows, stuff like that. Adding Copic coloring into a paper pieced image like this adds so much like character, bold color. This card is very bold colored. It's not bright, but the colors are very saturated and bold. The orange, the red, the purple, the green is bright and pops off the page. My butterfly that's on here is neutral still. He will change a little bit, but he's neutral still. You got the neutrals from, the stems of the mushrooms. I think that that if you want to try paper piecing, this is the stamp or line of stamps that you should try if you want to, give it a shot. So after I colored his beard up and the little polka dot, the little ball on the end of his hat, then I'm going to go ahead and add his hat on here as well as his pants. And his pants also have his shoes, and I believe I do end up like coloring them in a little bit, but in the end, you don't really see them too much. I also took this fine line multi-liner from Copic, and I went around the edges where maybe my pattern paper was cut just a little bit or my stamping wasn't perfect. I didn't want a gap between the line and my piece of paper, so I simply filled that in with that multi-liner there. So now I cut this out, and I did leave a white border around the entire thing. Around the bottom doesn't really matter too much because I am going to cut that. But what I started with was kind of hacking all the extra cardstock off. If you are going to trim something out, it's easier to work with a smaller piece. And since this is a big image, the smallest I could get it was the best. So I move my paper and kind of keep my scissors kind of anchored. My hand is sitting on the table. I really like those scissors. I got them at a scrapbook expo years ago. They work very, very well for me. Now I'm also going to cut this little piece out here. What I did is just kind of pierced the paper with my X-Acto knife there. I did not cut it on my glass mat. I had it kind of raised off the glass mat when I was doing that. I just needed to be able to get my scissors in, and I am going to go ahead and just trim out this little piece. If I was putting it on a just plain white background, I think I would have probably left it. But since I did all that stenciling of the sky, I thought I needed to be able to see that through there. And tiny details like that, if you're sending something to a card maker, especially a card maker that's as good as of a card maker as Amanda is, you want things to be perfect, or as perfect as you can get them. And you know, you're human and it's a handmade card, but she is beyond talented. If you've checked out any of her videos, I mean, you know, she's so talented. She is very wise, and she's super technique savvy. She knows all sorts of things. If you ever have questions on how to find something, she probably has the answer. She is just a wealth of knowledge and skill, and I definitely tried my best to do something just fantastic for her. So after I decided, well, this is fussy cut enough, and I kind of laid everything out where I was going to have it, I decided I better stamp my sentiment. And I am stamping for a friend like gnome one else. And I thought this was really cute. Amanda likes kind of the mythological, is that mythological, mystic storybook, like fairies and gnomes and dragons, and she kind of likes that stuff. So I wanted to, you know, honor her in that way, and she is an amazing friend. I just told you the story how she got on a plane and flew halfway across country to meet people she really didn't know. That's pretty amazing. So here I'm just lining up my piece of grass with my gnome image. It's not glued down to the back yet. I just wanted to glue these two together, and then I am going to reinforce that with a piece of repositionable tape. I could have just used regular tape, but that's what I have. I keep that for my die cutting. I never had a problem with it. It stays on. It doesn't damage anything. It's the perfect solution for me, and it doesn't leave them impressions in your paper either. Some of that other sticky tape stuff that people use, sometimes your machine can like press that into your paper and leave a mark. So anyway, now I'm deciding where I want to put these cute clouds, and I picked these pattern papers because I thought they played really well together, but these clouds play really, really nicely with this background that I stamped, and I thought that they were absolutely perfect. And that is I believe it was a reverse confetti pad. I will have to double check. Most of this stuff is probably old and probably is actually unavailable anymore, but you know, I have all this paper, and although my husband says you can never have enough, I do try to get through the paper. I love my pattern paper though, and that I don't think will ever change. So I glued those clouds directly down to the background and then snipped them off. They just add a little bit to, you know, what is the dimension in the background. And then because it is for my friend, and you can never do enough when you're doing it for somebody that's super special, I decided to get this stencil out. It's a Create a Smile stencil. I do know they still have it. I was on their site the other day, like making a wish list, and I was like, oh, they still have my stencil. And then this is some Cosmic Shimmer Glazy stuff. Let me see if I can find it here so I can tell you what the actual name is. It's like avocado or something or other. It's like got a green tint to it. Anyway, I just put that on my stencil with this palette knife, and then I realized that, oh, that wasn't the best solution. Here it is. Let's see. What is it called? See, when you put stuff away, you can find it. Gilded Avocado Opal Blaze Polish. It says you can use a finger or a sponge. Look at me. I pulled out a Q-tip because that seemed appropriate. Sorry about the crinkles. Anyway, I used a Q-tip to apply this, of all things, and it was perfect. My stars didn't need to be like, you know, perfect. Too many perfects, Renee. Too many perfects. But my stars didn't need to be exact. They just need to kind of represent stars. So I did it, put it there like one main thing, and then I decided that I loved it. And I mean, not that I could go back. I mean, I could have re-stenciled and, you know, did that. But anyway, decided I need some more stars. You're going to see some of it, but not all of it. And I think she's going to appreciate that there is this shimmer and shine in the background. Amanda is one of those people that really appreciates details, or at least I believe she really appreciates details. And, you know, going out of my way for somebody that's super special. So once that has dried, didn't take long, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. It did not take long at all. I popped my gnome and my little scene up on some foam tape and put it down. My stuff might not even be all the way dry because it looks like I'm being very careful not to mess with it. And this is what I'm going to do with the circles on the mushrooms here. I am using some Nuvo drops. These are orange. I don't even know what the name of them are. Hold on. Let me try. Let me look here, see if I can find that too. These are ripened pumpkin. That's fancy. And then the like aqua colored ones are Caribbean Ocean. Or is it Caribbean Ocean? Ooh. And then I also used, see that one right there with the black cap? It is Banana Split, and it glows in the dark. And you'll see here that I am using them on the butterfly. I actually filled the little dots in somewhat with the Caribbean Ocean. And then I'm going to add the banana color, Banana Split. What did I just say? Banana Split to the bottom of those, and then I kind of like tapped it, and I think I used my little pokey tool to kind of like swirl them together just a little bit to make sure that they blended. But it was super neat because you got like a two-toned effect, and some places look kind of green. I thought it was awesome. It glows in the dark. I mean, like, that's super cool. And then there's some smaller ones, smaller dots on the purple mushroom. And you can see them there. They're different kind. They are the vintage drops. These are matte. These are my actual favorites. They are called, what are these called? Guess that color. These are colonial blue that I'm using. Oh, not yet. I'm not using them yet. Why are you talking about them, Renee? I'm using a Spectrum Noir. Jeez, what is wrong with me? Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen. I think it's like clear glitter overlay. It's got way too many words. Pen. And I'm putting it on the mushroom tops and butterfly. I think I only put it on the butterfly and the little mushroom top. I think I restrained myself. I do also see it on the clouds. Maybe we haven't done that yet in the video. Now I'm putting some crystal glaze. Is it crystal glaze? Is that what this stuff is called? Why can I not figure out what things are called? Glossy accents. Words and apparently brands, names of things are super hard tonight. Maybe I'm nervous. What am I nervous about? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put glossy accents on this whole thing. You know, I didn't even put them vintage drops on that I was just talking about. Didn't do that yet because apparently I was ahead of myself. But I went ahead and I covered the entire mushroom top with glossy accents. And I even did the little top, the little top part. And then I'm going to do this orange one too. And I think, let me look here. I think I did the butterfly also because, you know, they should be glossy, I guess. I don't know. I was putting glossy things on everything because I wanted the texture and the shine and the, you know, hey, judge me if you want, but, you know. It also helps seal these pieces of paper together and make them, you know, very solid. And, well, it would be hard for somebody to kind of pick them apart, I think. I mean, I don't know who would, but it would be hard to get them apart now. They're glued together. So that's all Glossy Accents is like clear glue that dries super shiny. That's all it is. You can use it for all sorts of stuff. So then what did that do now? Oh, I let it dry. Did I let it dry? Nope. I added white gel pen details. I should have watched this before I started talking, huh? It's been edited a while. I just, things are going on in my world that I cannot get to making videos all the time. Or at least voicing them over. Anyway, I'm adding white gel pen detail with my favorite number 10 jelly roll pen, which I'm going to have to replace pretty soon because it's almost gone. Then I added like dots to his beard, which added so much detail and texture. I was like, hey, we should be doing dots on beards all the time. I think it looks super cool. So I was like learning as I go. I like the number 10 jelly roll because it rolls really nice and it's a fat line. I don't mind the 8. I do use that one. The 5 I struggle with. I feel like it scratches the paper. I really struggle. So here I pulled out some teeny tiny stars. These are from Trinity Stamps. I've had them for, you know, a while. There's so many of them. I don't know. I don't know how you would use them all up. I mean, I guess you could put them in shaker cards, but I don't really make too many of those. So I think it would take me a very long time to use these all the way up. So I'm using that Glossy Accents. Remember, I just said that it's basically just a shiny clear glue. And I am gluing down these stars. Now, I'm using this because I'm adhering them to places where Glossy Accents is, and I didn't want something that was like matte, and if it oozed out around the star that it would like leave a weird like matte mark on top of the Glossy Accents. But then I just used it for all of them, even in the background. I just tried to leave a small enough dot of, you know, adhesive on there that it didn't ooze out too bad. But these are super tiny. I'm sure there is. Sorry, Amanda, there's glue on your card. But I just added like a scattering of them in and around my image and in that star, like, I guess it's kind of like a ribbon, a ribbon star. I don't know what you would even call that. A lane of stars, a group of stars, a string of stars. I don't know. Galaxy? What is it? Anyway, just decorating my card. Oh, it's been a long day. Just adding the last few here, and then I still have more to do because we're not done. Like, no, I'm not done yet. And I mean, you could be done. You could just let this dry, and you could be done. I was checking to make sure I stuck them all down. Oh my gosh, my ADHD is so bad that I could not remember if I had glued them all down. What a goof, right? Okay, so now we have stars. And we have Glossy Accents on everything. And we have white gel pen detail on the gnome. Now I'm going to add some to the mushroom stems. And I firmly believe that the mushrooms were not dry enough yet. So I didn't add it there yet because if you put it on underneath the Glossy Accents can actually like pretty much eat it away. It'll like disperse it underneath and you might not have like a clear line. It also can just make it disappear in general. So can the Spectrum Noir shimmer pen. You can like erase the white gel pen with that. But if you wait until the Glossy Accents is dry, you can write on it with a gel pen and add those details where you want them. I mean, and sometimes it's nice to do that because you can see where the like light actually does shine on your image. So and then I added more white dots because, you know, white dots. I think I was bored and like hoping that my Glossy Accents would dry while I was staring at it. You know, it's like watching a pot of water boil. It takes forever. So I think I was like, okay, we're all done. Let all this dry. Oh, you can tell that butterfly is not dry. He's like like still milky colored. And I was testing it. And I was testing it. And I was like, oh, maybe it's dry enough. And I think I was wrong. I tried. I really just, sometimes when you're doing something, you don't want to set it down. And this was one of those days. I mean, I didn't screw it up. I would be really sad had I done that because there was a lot of work in here. You see this video is like almost an hour long. I apologize, but I didn't want to cut anything out because if you didn't know how to do this, this might be where you learn how to do something cool. I mean, paper piecing is really neat, and you can get some really cool looks by using pattern paper. And, everybody's hoarding their pattern paper, and let's use it. So this is one of my, favorite techniques that I do, but I clearly was not, did not wait very long for this. You can still tell it is not dry. I just want to slap my hand and be like, put it down, leave it alone, walk away, go change the laundry or something. Like, oh my gosh, I'm giving myself an anxiety attack just staring at myself. And I even know what the outcome is. Like, I know it turned out fine. Oh, Lord. Oh, what is wrong with me? Oh, my goodness. So, clearly I added plenty of gel pen on all the things. And you can see how it just adds so much character to everything. It very much turns it cartoonish. Like, this could be a big blow-up kid's toy in the backyard. It's like kiddish, friendly, cartoonish. So, I believe I might have let it dry now after I did all that. What was I pointing now? What did I do? Oh, maybe I just decided, oh, nope, we decided that we needed to add those dots in. I clearly did not wait till anything was dry. It's been a minute since I made this card and made all these terrible decisions. I don't know how you guys do it, where you let your projects dry and come back to them. I clearly am incapable of actually waiting for dry time. Oh, before I forget, I cut the background panel out with the scrapbook.com die. It's, you can cut rectangles all day long, but it's nice. It's got the little rounded edges, and it does that pressure cut edge. I just think it adds some nice detail. Yeah, there's me, like, yay, I think it's good. Then I had to decide, like, what am I going to put it on? Oh, wait, more glitter. More glitter. Oh, I did the fence. I forgot. I did put it on the ball and on his beard because gnomes apparently are sparkly. And then I put it on the fence too. Do I do that now? Oh, there's the clouds. I did say I see that the clouds are sparkly. So yeah, I did that too. And nothing is dry yet. See, I turned it so I didn't put my hand in stuff. At least I'm making good decisions there, right? I mean, come on. Oh, now you know me. You know what kind of crafter I am. A lot of times I cut all the dumbness out, but today I did not. Left it all in for you to see the raw, real me, the one that has anxiety all the time, even while I'm watching something that I know comes out just fine. I am like, I can't believe that you're doing this, Renee. You could have just let it sit and dry. You could have read a story to the kids. You could have watched a movie. You could have anything. But here you are, just screwing with everything. Oh, and I was being very careful there because, like I said, that Spectrum Noir glitter pen, you can erase the white gel pen with that. So I was being careful because, I took all that time and effort to put it on there. I didn't want to erase it. So here I was marveling at my beautiful card that I was like, oh, it's so cool. She's going to love it. But this die cuts out, I mean, it leaves a nice border. You could just put it on a card base, but I felt like it would have just swam on a white card base. So I needed to decide on, what I was going to mount it on. And as you see, my space that I'm working with has gotten so small. I just don't know. I mean, I have a small craft room as it is, but when my space gets super tiny, then I get all stressed out because my space is tiny. Oh yeah, I got this Lawn Fawn holographic paper, and it came with like several different patterns. Are they patterns, designs? Anyway, holographic is like Amanda's jam. So I decided that I was going to use the holographic. Ooh, my stuff is dry. Is it dry? It must be dry, because otherwise I would have been way more careful. I must have waited for it to dry. Way more careful with this cutter, because I would have not wanted to mess things up. I loved this holographic paper. I thought it was so pretty and thought it framed this image actually really, really nicely. Kind of a cool scene. So I'm going to go ahead. Ooh, it must be dry because I just turned that sucker all the way over and set it down. Oh, wow. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this to my holographic pattern paper here. I did use liquid adhesive just because it was out and I clearly hadn't put anything away yet. Otherwise, I probably would have used my ATG because I'm really comfortable with that. But here, again, looking at my fancy handiwork and deciding if it was good enough and cleaning up just a little bit. Oh, and the inside. So Amanda stamps the insides on her cards, or actually had for a long, long time. I know she got it from somewhere else, like the habit of doing it, but I got the habit of doing it from her. And I did, for the most part, every one of my cards in 2020 until I just stopped making cards. And then when I came back to making cards, I didn't again, which is sad because the inside of the card needs some love too, right? So here I am stamping this image partially on the inside of my card with really light inks. Just kind of, use the green down at the bottom where the grass is. I mean, it's not even like close to perfect, but it kind of gives the idea that that's the color. And then trying to decide if I was adding some clouds or not, because they're on the front and I think these clouds are super adorable. Everything is drawn, I'm gonna guess, by the same artist because it's drawn very much the same way. And I really, really did enjoy working with these stamps. And I do foresee more of these in my future, like coming home with me, because they were very fun to work with. And then I decided to stamp this sentiment here right in the middle. And it says, hello there. Move your hand, Renee, so I can read it. Oh, I have no idea what it says. Hello there, my friend, is what it says. But I was leaving the ink pressed down onto the paper. A long time ago, somebody was teaching me how to stamp. And I have been stamping for an awful long time, so I will tell you this was a very, very long time ago. And I was like stamping down and picking my thing up, my block up right away. My wood black stamp. It has been that long. And they were explaining to me that, it takes a minute sometimes for things to happen, like ink transferring to paper. So if you're trying to get a very good impression of something, it's best to kind of hold it in one place for a little bit instead of picking it right up. And I know we use our stamp presses and our misties and our, all the different things. And we stamp and we pick it up. But if you allowed your stamp to rest on your paper for just a little bit, just a few more seconds, you might get a much better impression because that ink was able to transfer to the paper. So that's what I was doing there. And with that stamp platform, you have to actually like push down. It's got some like kind of feet. Anyway, there's my card. Finished, the outside, the inside's finished. And then, because it's for somebody super, super special, I decided to stamp an envelope because I never do this, but I thought, well, I will give it a shot. So I just stamped the image on the edge of this envelope, and I'm not going to color it or anything because it's an envelope. It's going to go in the trash. But I thought that was a super fun addition. And I was using a white eraser there to clean up all my messes because, man, I was an inky, inky mess that day. So that is my card with a matching envelope, and that is my story about my friend that flew halfway across the country to come meet me. If I forgot to mention, this is a collaboration with Amanda over at Rise and Procrastinate on using pattern paper. I will have her channel linked below. Make sure you head on over there and check out her video and let her know that I sent you, and please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed watching my whole card process and hearing me ramble and on, which, I mean, you're still here, right? Anyway, thank you for stopping by. And as I always say, give cards generously. Bye.